Hey, it is Genein here with your Diamond Mentor moment for this week. I wasn't with you on Wednesday, but I'm here as we close out the week. We are talking today about how great leaders inspire. I've been hearing a lot. I just heard on a past call that leaders are wanting to know, how do I inspire my team members, my clients, my patients, whoever I'm working with? How do I inspire them from the inside out? And one tip I'm going to share with you today is the use of metaphors. Now, when I say metaphors, I mean metaphors, similes, analogies. I'm just putting all of those into under the metaphorical categories, even though they are distinctly different. One uses like, as, just one just uses a straight comparison, and one is really just a short story form. But how do we use all of these metaphoric literary devices in order to inspire? In order to get people to follow us and to attach themselves to the purpose that we're trying to communicate. And so I'm going to share a few examples of how this looks like in my own life, in my own leadership training. And then I'm going to just give you some quick tips that you can do and you can practice on how to do it yourselves. If you know of all the great speakers, your Martin Luther King Jr., JFK, Margaret Thatcher, Maya Angelou, just any great speakers that you can list off, more often than not, they incorporated metaphor, either short metaphors or metaphors that threaded throughout their speech for a reason. And there's, of course, here's my brain. You know, I always have my brain. There's a neurological reason as well as of what is the brain doing during storytelling. So, first of all, quick story. Since we're talking about stories, I was at a wedding, a wonderful wedding on Saturday. My cousin Idris got married, and at the beginning of the wedding, the officiant, my other cousin, Akila, told everyone to turn off their cell phones. Turn off your cell phones, put them on silent, and I did. Lo and behold, someone's cell phone goes off, like the alarm goes off, right? And Akila just stops, whatever, and then he commences, and then about 7 minutes later, you know, they're doing their vows, and then another cell phone goes off, and Akila's like, to the bride, I told them to turn off their cell phones. But my cousin, Idris, is locked in on the woman he's about to marry that day. And Akila quickly just sees that opportunity and says, you know what? And that's what marriage is about. You're locked in. There's going to be distractions in life. There's going to be things that are happening that should not be happening, but you have to stay locked in to what is important. So that was a great use of a metaphorical way to take what was happening in the situation and use it for a purposeful event. Now, I tell people the masters of metaphors are usually teachers, preachers, prophets, and poets, right? Poet. If you're going to be a poet, you have to know how to use metaphor. You have to know how to take all of the qualities of this thing and that attach it to that thing. And we're just really good at doing that. People who speak to large groups of people, especially where the people are at different cognitive levels, you have to be good at metaphor because people are coming in from different walks of life and different understandings, and so metaphor helps to make it more understandable for all. And I just love that example at the wedding, how he is a pastor, so he's skilled in this area, but he can take something that could be seen as a distraction and use it a part of his teaching or whatever he was doing. And so another example that I have of using metaphors on the fly is I was consulting for PWWC as far as their educational portion back when I was still a classroom teacher. And someone within the C-suite, we were having lunch, and she asked me, so Janine, what are your thoughts about technology and kids? You know, like just kids on the iPad and on the phones and things like that. And a metaphor quickly came up. I said, water. Water. Did you know that you can't live past like 3 or 4 days without water? But in the same vein, did you know that you could die from drinking too much water. Yeah, there's actually people who have passed away because they drank too much water. I did not know that was possible, but it is possible. And I think technology is the same way, that our kids have to be exposed to technology. They have to be exposed to what AI is doing and where this is going. It's going to be a significant part of their life. But at the same time, too much of it, where they're not getting outside time, they're not getting 3D time. That's what I call it with my son, 3D play. Like go have some 3D play, which means go play with your toys that you can physically touch, as opposed to being on the screen. They have to have interaction with people. They have to have other things in addition to technology. So I immediately went to the metaphor of water, right, on the spot. And here's another example. I'm also showing this. I haven't posted about it, but my son, my 5-year-old son, was asked to be a part of the ribbon cutting in our local town of Buckeye. And the mayor and his team asked Sean to be the activator of the splash pad they were just opening for the whole town of city of Buckeye. And we used, him and I used the metaphor of water. So first of all, here is the quick photo of my cousin and the wonderful officiant who made that wonderful metaphor connection. And here is Sean really talking about why water is important. And then I'll come back and show you how I made the metaphor of water, how I made it work. And then we're going to go through some tips on how you can bring metaphorical power into your leadership toolkit.
Welcome to the phase 2 of Sundance Bar. I'm so happy I opened this splash pad.
We took your feedback to heart. The city's first public splash pad, which emerged as a highly desired amenity, will be brought to life shortly.
All right, I would like to introduce Sean Letford and his mother, Genein. A big round of applause for them. And Sean caught my attention because he was checking out the sprinklers in the irrigation system. Because he had such an interest in the park and how it works, we thought it only appropriate for Sean to activate the splash pad for the first time. I think that's pretty awesome. This has not happened. Hopefully it works. You're testing it for us right now. So I'm going to turn it over to Genein and Sean to say a few words more before all the kids, and the kids at park can get soaking wet here.
Hi, I'm Sean, the creative kid. I love going to the splash pad and I love getting wet because that's the whole purpose of life. Getting wet in the pool, going in the sprinklers, and even getting wet in the splash pad. Are you ready?
You're water. You're water. You are water. Your body is made up of 60% water, and your brain, everyone touch your brain. Your brain is made up of 90% of water. So when you're playing in the splash pad, when you're fishing at the lake, when you're in the sprinklers, don't forget that you too are water. All right, Sean, are you ready? Keep your position. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
All right, so that was the world premiere of that activation of me sharing that. But the reason why I wanted to share it is because of the foundational metaphorical connections that we had with water. When you think of water, it is the lifeline of an area. You know, cities are built around waterways, right? Water's needed for the growth and for the creativity of an area. Another thing I learned about water is I went to Hawaii, and WAI, like where they get Waikiki from, which means the sprouting waters. Y means wealth. To them, wealth is water. And lastly, did you know that water, the makeup of water, it's H2O. Hopefully you already knew that. But if you separate those molecules and recombine them, you liquefy them and recombine them, it's rocket fuel. Water is rocket fuel. That's why when you see the rockets jet off into space, the exhaust is water vapor. And so the more you know about a concept, the more metaphorical connections you can make. So the connection that I make there, I didn't include the whole speech, but I said, knowing those three things, you talk about those two things. Water is the foundation of wealth, right? In that language, and water is needed for creativity, for sustenance of a city and a people, and water is rocket fuel. Knowing those three things, I then looked at the crowd and said, "You're water. You are water. Your body's made up of 60% water. Your brain, your beautiful brain," the title of our book, is made up of 90% of water. So when you're in the splash pad, when you're in your pool, when you're in the sprinklers, when you're in the shower, wherever you are around water, remember that you have the same creative potential as water. You have the same wealth, the wealth of your ideas. That's why my first tagline of our financial curriculum is your creative health affects your financial wealth. Water, Y in Hawaiian means wealth. You are wealthy because you're water. And lastly, the fuel that pushes you through the hard times, the fuel that pushes you through the creativity times, it's water, right? Rocket fuel is water. Who would have known? But I would not have made that metaphorical connection had I not seen some other informational facts about water. So that's one of the first tips. If you're looking to be a good metaphorical speaker, make sure that you learn a few things about what you want to make the metaphor on. Now, if you're doing it on the fly, this is stuff you just know of. There is, let me show this document right here. There is a document that I do share in my trainings. It looks like this. And this document has a whole bunch of images. You can make your own. You can even grab pictures from your phone. And what I have people do is their metaphorical connections. Like, who are you? Which image best describes you? Which image best describes your leadership skills? Which image best describes how you're feeling today? Which image best describes where you see yourself in 25 years? No matter what the prompt is, they have to go through the metaphorical gate of an image. And so if I say which image best describes you and they picked an octopus, normally I have a lot of people do say because of the tentacles around, right? But did you know that an octopus has little brains in each of their tentacles? Like they have little neuronal balls of some sort. And did you know that an octopus, the mother octopus, goes to extreme lengths to make sure her offspring survive, even to the point of passing away. So she's very sacrificial to make sure the next generation survives. And so when you learn more things about things, you're able to make these metaphorical jumps to have more of an impact for when you lead. And so getting information about random stuff, right? I have an endless capacity for random information, I say. And then looking at the object from different viewpoints. Let me take this off the screen. Here's my diamond. I chose the diamond as a metaphor for a reason for my company. Think about how it's formed, right? Heat and pressure. Think about what it does, right? It's multifaceted. You could talk an hour about that. It takes the pure light and separates it into different colored rays. You can see the colors of the rainbow through a diamond. It's one of the hardest substance known. So a lot of engineering and a lot of manufacturing companies buy diamond dust in order to put it into their tools because it's extremely hard, right? All of these informational tidbits about the diamond, I could switch and then use as a metaphor. Right? These are diamond tools. They're going to do the hard work of us getting this job done. That's how you make that connection. Also, think about the function of the object as well, the internal function and the external function as well. diamonds, just like I said, they work hard for you. They're hard. And just the story of the diamond as well. Let's see. What else? And you can also think about the cultural connections that the object has to a specific social group. So what does this thing mean to this to this group? What does it do to the group? How does it benefit the group? And so when you think about objects from a 360 observational way, you think about objects and understanding that one element, one way that you can make the connection is understanding that you know that the audience may have some type of background in this area. So an audience has seen a diamond. Hopefully, most of the audience knows that a diamond is hard. And if they don't, you tell them, and then you metaphorically make that bridge connect to whatever point you are trying to make. And so that is how I use metaphors. I practice. That's the last point, is you practice with ordinary objects like lip gloss. What's a metaphorical lesson you can teach with lip gloss, right? It helps keep your lips moisturized. It helps bring a shine, and on the part of your body that is meant to speak out, it helps it shine bright. So what does that mean for you, right? Just having fun, practicing. Your brain gets stronger when you practice at something. We call that myelinating the neurons. So go have fun with metaphors, similes, analogies. Go see how other people are using them. Start to listen for them, right? When she's bright as the sun, right? I have a heart of a lion, right? I am a lion. These are just different tactics that people use. They're in song lyrics. They're everywhere around you. But when you pay attention to them, see how they're used, you're able to bring them into your leadership toolkit. So anyway, I hope that helps. This was a long one, but that's your Diamond Mentor moment for today. And I will see you next time. Bye.